How and why elephants remember their attackers for life. December 1975, Kenya. Poachers enter a village. They have rifles. Their target is elephants. The mother elephant falls first. The baby calf watches. He cannot run away. He just stands there among the blood and dust. One of the poachers looks him straight in the eye, smiles, and walks away. The baby elephant remembered that face, remembered the smell, remembered everything. 20 years later, biologists brought that same elephant back to the same village. He walked past every house, stopped at one, dropped to his knees, and did not move. Inside that house lived the son of the poacher. Elephants never forget, literally. Today, you will learn facts about elephants that will make you see them differently, from epigenetic memory written into DNA to planned revenge 20 years later. And I will also tell you several real secret scientific discoveries that they never mention in school textbooks. Let's begin. Fact 1. Memory in DNA. You think memory is something in the brain? No. In elephants, it is written directly into their deoxyribonucleic acid. Researchers in Kenya have spent decades observing elephants who survived poaching. These animals have elevated levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, for their entire lives. But the shock is something else. Their children were born already anxious. They never saw a human with a gun. But when they see a red car or hear a gunshot, they run away, as if they know. Scientists call this transgenerational trauma. Resentment is passed down through inheritance. Elephants carry the pain of their ancestors and never forget it. Now here is a secret fact that few people talk about. In 2020, geneticists from the University of Turku in Finland discovered that African elephants have special epigenetic marks linked to experienced violence. These marks change how genes responsible for fear and aggression work. Moreover, the marks last for at least 3 generations. That means the grandson of an elephant who was killed in front of his father will still flinch at the sound of footsteps. Scientists called this phenomenon the genetic scream of the past. Question for you. Have you noticed that your own fears get passed down to your children? Write it in the comments. Fact 2. Elephants know your language and accent. 2014, University of Sussex, England. An experiment that broke the internet. They played voice recordings in 2 languages to elephants. The first was the Maasai language. That is a tribe that sometimes kills elephants. The second was the Kamba language. Farmers who never bother elephants. When elephants heard Maasai, they tensed up, backed away, huddled into a defensive circle. When they heard Kamba, they showed no reaction at all. Then the scientists went further. They played male, female, and children's voices speaking Maasai. Female voices barely scared them. Children's voices didn't either. But male voices. Elephants could tell an adult Maasai man even from a low-quality recording, with their ears metaphorically closed. An elephant knows. A man with a spear is dangerous. A woman is not. A child is just curious. They don't just hear. They analyze. Here is another hidden scientific fact that you won't find on Wikipedia. A study from 2017 showed that elephants distinguish not only language, but also the age of the voice. When scientists sped up or slowed down the recording, elephants still understood who was in front of them. Even more, they remember an individual person by voice and appearance, even 12 years after the last encounter. In Amboseli National Park in Kenya, elephants recognized researchers who wore the same clothes and kept the same walking style. If you once wronged an elephant, it will recognize you a decade later, even if you shave your beard and change your hairstyle. Fact 3. Funerals and mourning. Now the heaviest part, and the most beautiful. When an elephant dies, the herd does not leave. They stand around the body for hours. They touch it with their trunks. They make low sounds, infrasound. It can be heard for many miles. The famous biologist Lawrence Anthony saved several elephants in South Africa. When he died, elephants came to his house. They stood there for 2 days. They did not eat, did not drink. They came to say goodbye. But the most shocking thing is that they returned to the bones of the dead years later. Scientists placed skulls of different animals. Elephants ignored buffalo or rhino skulls. But when they found an elephant skull, they picked it up with their trunks, sniffed it, and froze for several minutes. No other land animal does this. Only us and them. Now here is a secret that biologists kept hidden for a long time. In 2015, in a national park in Zambia, a case was recorded where a herd of elephants returned to the place where their leader had died 6 years earlier. They didn't just come. They carefully rearranged his bones, separated the skull from the other remains, and arranged a circle of branches and leaves around it. This does not look like instinct. It looks like a ritual. Anthropologists still argue whether this can be called religion. But one thing is clear. Elephants experience death not as animals, as individuals who have lost someone close. Fact 4. The mirror. They know that is me. 2006, Bronx Zoo, New York. Scientists put an invisible paint mark on an elephant's forehead and placed a huge mirror in front of it. Most animals see another animal in the mirror. Dogs bark, parrots get scared. But the elephant approached and began to touch the mark on its own forehead with its trunk. It understood. That is me. Before this, the mirror test had been passed only by chimpanzees, dolphins, magpies, and elephants. What does this mean? They have self-awareness. They understand themselves as individuals. And if you are an individual, then you understand. You hurt me. And another secret fact that the news does not talk about. In 2019, the experiment was repeated with Asian elephants in Thailand. The result was even more shocking. Some elephants not only recognized themselves, they began to look at themselves from all sides, leaned over, opened their mouths, looked inside. One female elephant named Nanga used the mirror to remove a piece of leaf from her tooth. She saw the reflection, understood where the foreign object was, and pulled it out with her trunk. Self-awareness plus problem-solving. This behavior was previously thought to be unique only to humans and great apes. Question for you. Do you think elephants can feel resentment the same way humans do? Yes or no? Right below. Spoiler, they can. Fact 5. Revenge decades later. 2019, India, state of Kerala. A man returns home. From the forest comes a huge elephant. It walks past 3 houses and stops right in front of his door. The elephant tramples him, walks away, returns an hour later to make sure. The investigation revealed a shocking truth. 15 years earlier, this man had killed the calf of that very female elephant and left the body in the forest. Biologists studied the elephant's route. It intentionally entered that village, walked past other houses, and found exactly him. Elephants do not simply remember. They plan, they wait, and they do not forgive. But there is an even more secret scientific fact. In 2022, an international group of zoologists published a study describing 37 confirmed cases of targeted revenge by elephants over the previous 20 years. In 17 cases, elephants took revenge more than 10 years after the incident. In 5 cases, after 25 years. The record was recorded in Botswana, where an elephant attacked a poacher 28 years after that poacher had killed its mother. The elephant did not make a mistake, did not wander in by accident. It tracked him, waited, and attacked. Scientists still cannot explain how elephants maintain spatial and temporal memory maps for decades, but a fact remains a fact. Fact 6. Infrasonic internet communication. This is a little-known superpower of elephants. They produce sounds at frequencies from 14 to 35 hertz. The human ear cannot hear them, but elephants detect these vibrations through the pads on their feet and the bones of their skull. Infrasound travels up to 6 miles through the ground and up to 124 miles through the air under certain conditions. That means elephants can communicate over distances comparable to a network of cell towers. They send each other coordinates of danger, watering holes, alarm signals, and even emotions. Scientists have decoded more than 70 different infrasonic signals. For example, a special low rumble means attention, we found water, and a short pulsing sound means a human with a weapon was here. Let's leave. Imagine an entire underground network that we did not know about until the 1990s. Only in 2004 did biologists finally confirm that elephants use seismic vibrations. They literally feel the ground. Fact 7. The alcohol intoxication effect from Marula fruit. This sounds like a joke, but it is pure science. In Africa, the marula tree grows. Its fruit falls to the ground and ferments in the sun. Elephants eat this fruit and indeed behave as if drunk. For many years, people thought this was a legend. But in 2005, zoologists from the University of Bristol measured the alcohol level in marula fruit. It turned out that overripe fruit can contain up to 3% ethanol. An elephant weighing 4.5 tons would need to eat about 14 kilograms of fermented fruit to become intoxicated, and they do eat it. Cases have been observed where a herd destroyed all the fruit from one tree and then lay down to sleep right there, making sounds similar to snoring. Elephants never forget the place where they found good drunk marula. They return there every year. Fact 8. They sense tsunamis and earthquakes hours before they happen. During the Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004, more than 230,000 people died. But the elephants from Yala National Park in Sri Lanka all survived. Several hours before the wave hit, the elephants started trumpeting and running to higher ground. Scientists still argue about exactly what they sense. Infrasound from shifting tectonic plates, electromagnetic fields, changes in water pressure in their ear cavities. The truth is that elephants can predict disasters, and they remember the path to safety for their entire lives. Fact 9. The final and most secret fact of all. Elephants have their own names. For a long time, it was believed that only humans and dolphins give each other individual names. In 2023, researchers from the University of Colorado recorded infrasonic signals of elephants and analyzed them with a neural network. It turned out that each elephant has a unique sound pattern. When a female elephant makes a certain low sound, a specific member of the herd responds. This is not a nickname. This is a real name made of modulated frequencies that does not change for years. Elephants call each other by name over distances of several miles. They call the names of those who died decades later. They remember the names of their human offenders, even if we cannot hear how they say them. A human can forget, can forgive. An elephant cannot. And if you ever meet the gaze of an old elephant, remember, he might remember you and know your name. He just cannot say it out loud so that you can hear. We are used to thinking that memory is just a way to not lose our keys. For an elephant, it is a weapon, a medicine, and a curse. Elephants remember faces, voices, names, smells, places, grievances, and love. They mourn, they count, they communicate through the ground. They get drunk on wild fruit, and they sense disasters. They're the closest animal to us on the planet in terms of consciousness. Only we do not want to admit it. And now a final question. What animal do you think has the strongest memory after the elephant? Maybe a raven, which remembers the faces of its offenders for 5 years? Or your house cat, which remembers where the can opener is, even if you moved it 3 years ago? Write in the comments. I will read the most original answer in the next video. This has been Animal Stories Survival. Remember? Animals remember. Always. See you next time. Subscribe so you don't miss new survival stories.